everybody, welcome to the NRSL MLP Cup Series. We're here live at 3Fourty9 for the running of the Transformers Turn of Death 100. Well, we have 6 races left, and what better way to complete our championship run than starting here at 3Fourty9. It'll only get even wilder from there. This is where the Turn of Death exists, and you just saw the full map on your screen. The backside is where the Turn of Death is, and that's the biggest turn of the track. Will anyone be able to make it out the Turn of Death and win? You're about to see what. Who will it be? On the poll today, it is the 24 Charles Sanford, the defending champion, still looking for that first top 10 of the season. On the outside is the 29 Dustin Ray. Starting third is the 91 Team Pony, and fourth is the 27 Austin LaPlante. And 5th is the 15 PJ Williams, and 6th is the 16 Jonathan Skivnicki. Starting 7th is the 51 Jacob Lawler, and 8th is the 39 Scott Ferguson. 9th is the 56 of DJ Curtis, rounding out the top 10, the 48 of Brad Johnson. And now, without further ado, let's hear those famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
After a thriller at Monster Energy, we can't wait to see another thriller here at 3Fourty9 possibly. And this is their first, then they just started at the Turn of Death near the Estes into the U-turn. And now Charles Sanford leading us to 15 laps here at 3Fourty9. Again, no one is safe from the Turn of Death. And this is expected to become a big game changer race. So buckle your seatbelts tight, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride. The green flag will be waving for the first time today, as we only have 6 races left this season. And the green flag is out. We're underway at 3Fourty9. That's a weird S-curve, by the way, going down and downhill on the rear. You don't really see too many S-curves go downhill. They were able to make it out. And now going uphill, now up towards the bridge. Whoa, contact. I thought there was contact for a second. This is another turn that's a little tough. And look at this already, 3 to 4 wide racing. Pack racing behind, but now they're going downhill, and now our focus is with the 24 and see if he can make it to the turn through the Turn of Death first time today. We're now approaching the street portion, and now the first meeting with the Turn of Death today. Here we go. Let's see if Sanford will make it. Oh no, he does not make it, and Charles Sanford wrecks. Team Pony doesn't either. Oh, tough break for Charles Sanford. He does not make it through. A big hit on the 24, and Team Pony was able to keep it in the game. But Charles Sanford smoking, and the caution's out first time today. No surprise. The leader, it's Dustin Ray. And I knew the Turn of Death was gonna strike on the very first lap to a couple unlucky drivers. And the first one that was victim of the turn was Charles Sanford. There you see right here on the S-curve. Oh, he just couldn't make it. And he just hit the pavement, went too high up, and spun himself out. Team Pony right there almost made contact with the 24. And yeah, you could see the smoke coming out of the 24's car. That was a hard hit. And a tough break for Sanford. That quest for that first top 10 of the season will have to continue another race. Well, better luck at Widowmaker, even though Widowmaker has the infamous leap of death. But well, we just have our first caution of the day, again, the Turn of Death. And it goes to show you no one is safe from the Turn of Death. But Dustin Ray's gotta be happy. He made it through the first time, and he's now the leader under caution. Charles Sanford is done with the day. His piston gave out. And his piston gave out on the turn of death, so. And as for Team Pony, they, I think, are safe. And these guys are pitting. PJ Williams, Jacob Lawler, Brad Johnson, and Jonathan Skibnicki. And I'm not sure how Skibnicki has front end damage. I guess they shared bumper to bumper, and yeah, it got ugly quick. And since this is a road course, this only takes 2 caution laps, which means a lot of time for a lot of these drivers to make their biggest moves. And to have the turn of death claim more victims. So who will be the next victim of the turn of death? Will it be Dustin Ray, the leader? Or will it be someone below the top 5? Or maybe someone out of random? We'll have to wait and see as the green flag is about to wave, and this is wow. So they're pitting but just before the green flag waves. No surprise, because I've seen this happen a lot of times before. I guess neither of them wanted to face the turn of death again, and well, I guess Alex Ragow is up to the challenge. So the leader's now going to be Alex Ragow. So he'll be the one leading into the turn of death. Pace car usually gets out. Sometimes it gets into pit roads. Sometimes it just gets just before the start-finish line. So don't know how that happens, but well, nevertheless, you have your finish right there. Green flag waving. Look at this. 3 wide for the lead already. Dion Scott, Dylan Young, and they just zoomed by Alex Ragow. Even though Ragow got a little ahead of each other, I don't know what went wrong. Dion Scott has the lead. Ragow keeps second. Now Young is going up high. Okay, so the driver's pitting just before the green flag wave. I guess they wanted none of the turn of death. They probably wanted to wait. They might as well wait a little while until they face off against the turn of death, should they face off again. So now it's all up to Dion Scott now to the turn of death, and there'll be there's 12 laps to go here at 3:49. Still plenty of time for the turn of death to claim its victims, like I said. Anyway, into the street portion of the course in just a few more feet. And there it is, street portion coming up, and Dion Scott is going to face off against the turn of death. Oh no, and Dion Scott's around. Almost the same thing that happened. Whoa, contact with Kyle Thomas and Nick Barney. Oh man, that's a hard hit. That was just as hard as Charles Sanford's hit. And lucky boy Alex Ragow does lead under the caution after all, with 10 laps to go. Let's go back to Dion Scott. Let's see what happened with Dion Scott, but my goodness, was that a wreck. Here's Scott, and made the same mistake as Charles Sanford did. He got too high up the turn, hit the pavement, and got way loose up on that turn of death. And then here comes Kyle Thomas, car charging the 12. He went a little too high as well, and a contact made by the 18, and the 88 also could not avoid the turn of death as well. Yikes. That's a tough break for those drivers. Lucky break for Alex Ragow. He's your new leader with 10 to go. And Dion Scott, same mistake, same reason he retired, pistons. So ironically, Charles Sanford and Dion Scott both suffered the same incident with the turn of death. How strange is that? Jason Trost, Alex Tanker, and Kyle Thomas, they might have had damage from the turn or something. They're down below as well. And those drivers are pitting again, and that will give the lead over to PJ Williams. But we'll see if Williams will keep the lead when we get back to the green flag. The leaders, the ones that stayed out of pit road earlier, are now going to be back in the are now pitting. So there'll be 8 laps to go here at the turn at 3:49. We're just almost we almost reached the halfway point. Anything can happen, and I mean anything, folks. So this is a track where anything could happen. This pace car is going to be going through the turn of death a little bit, and then PJ Williams is going to get a warm up, and they're not going to pit, so PJ Williams will remain the leader when we get back to green. Only 2 drivers have retired so far, each caused by the turn of death, so, well, slow day in terms of retiring cars, but it has gotten many twists and turns. Enough twists and turns to satisfy the crowd. PJ Williams, your leader, he's still looking for that first win, but it's going to be a long journey ahead before he can reach that mark. Green flag is out. And not a good start for PJ Williams. Jacob Lawler is already off. And he just clears the 15 before they even reach the first turn. Jacob Lawler with a great start to take the lead. Lawler already has a win this season. Oh wow, Roberts got in the grass. Tanker's slow behind and Tross slow as well, but Lawler's the leader. Jacob Lawler's the leader. He broke his winless streak back over at Thunder Bay. He's trying to get his second win of the season, trying to become the 3rd driver with multiple wins. The last race of Monster Energy, James Shelley became the 2nd driver with 2 wins. We'll see if Lawler can become the 3rd, but before we even get to that far, he's got to face the turn of death. Jacob Lawler arrives now at the street portion of the course. And here he comes against the turn of death. The last 2 leaders were victims. We'll see if Lawler will become the 3rd. And Lawler is the 3rd victim of the turn of death. He could not escape. And there you see Tommy Heinrich and Connor Smith taking it along with them. And the leader is PJ Williams, so PJ does keep the lead after all. Ahead of Brad Johnson, PJ Williams will lead under caution. We have reached now the halfway point of the race, 8 to go. And I knew that that we're always going to target the leaders of the race. The turn of death almost always targets the leaders, and probably some in between. So this case, Lawler got too high there, and then Lawler just lost it in the turn of death, spinning himself out, and then other victims came in. Watch this. The 33 and 43 also were involved. And let's see their wrecks in full motion. He's Connor Smith. He almost got above the pavement, and then he makes contact with Tommy Heinrich, and all of them get dumped in the turn of death. So 3 drivers this time were the victims of the turn of death. My goodness. So that's so we're halfway. We've reached through the halfway point right now. Anyone retired? No. Actually, no one retired yet from the wrecks. However, that could change in the next lap. And I don't think it's going to change. And everyone took their pit stop, so it's not going to be a factor at all. What does matter is the battle against the turn of death. And we've had 1 lap of green, and then the caution comes out for another 2 laps. So, yeah. They've got to make their moves right now, because there'll be 6 to go when we get back under green. We get another caution after that. We'll have 3 to go maybe, and that's the point where the next caution will end the race. By the way, the top 2 drivers in points, Chris Washer is in 12th, James Shelley in 20th. However, the points could change after this race with all the victims the turn of death has gobbled up today. Turn of death at, well, pace car. I don't think he's feeling going to pit road. He would rather just stay near the start-finish line instead. But then somewhat magically reappears on pit road. I don't know. I guess the pace car is really wacky today. The pace car does that at 349. It makes it for more interesting results. Gives it a more interesting feel because the leaders don't always get the good start. Gotta be prepared this time because there'll be 6 to go. Here we go. And look at this. 3 wide for the lead between Jonathan Skibnicki, Brad Johnson, and PJ Williams. We've had this similar result happen a few laps earlier. Oh, Skibnicki and the 48 looks like he might have preferred line. Roberts once again in the sand. And Brad Johnson has the lead. Wait a minute. Oh, PJ Williams almost slid up on the 48. He almost slid up. Look at this. PJ Williams gonna try to challenge the 48. This is something you really don't see a lot in road courses. Side-by-side battles for the lead. Team Pony, where do they come from? They're in 3rd. And PJ Williams clears Brad Johnson, but he knows he has to face against the turn of death. Here we go, street portion, and they're still side by side. Not anymore. PJ Williams and Brad Johnson. Who will make it out? Let's see. And it looks like PJ Williams was the victim, along with DJ Curtis and Michael White. And that's got to be good news for Brad Johnson. He was relieved his biggest rival, Rex out. Brad Johnson will be the leader with just 5 laps to go, and then, so now at this point, the next caution ends the race. Tough break for PJ Williams, was not able to make it through that turn. They were battling side by side with Brad Johnson throughout the entire ordeal. And well, yeah, not so great for him now. Here it is again, PJ Williams wrecks out right here on nearly the exact same corner that all of our other drivers wrecked out at. Of course, nowhere is safe. No one is safe. And let's just show DJ Curtis what happened with Michael White. Here it is again. DJ Curtis went too high and clips Michael White right in the turn. And then they both make a huge hit. And wow, that was like a big turn. And that was like, wow, that was huge. Tough break for DJ Curtis. He actually almost won at Thunder Bay, leading most laps, but his incident in pit road cost him the win. Oh, whoa, 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 there was no caution. Wait a minute. There was never a caution. I thought there would have been a real caution. There wasn't a caution. They didn't pull it out. Oh my goodness. I really thought that wreck caused a caution, but the caution did not come out. So at this point, now it's serious, as the next caution flag will end the race. When we hit the stripe, if someone does hit the stripe, there'll be 4 to go. So I think we may have 1 or 2 more laps left if there is another caution right now. I thought there was a caution. That should have been a caution, honestly. There's been similar wrecks we've had that they pulled the caution out for that, but not this case. Oh, strange. So Brad Johnson's going to have to fight against Team Pony. And you probably know what happens next. Yeah, I probably spoiled it a little bit, but, well, let's just pretend we didn't see that. And let's see if Brad Johnson does make it to the turn of death. Season 2 champion, not having his greatest season so far, but he's trying to make the most of it. Here comes the turn of death. Oh, Brad Johnson too high, and he spins. Yep, Brad Johnson got too high, spinning out, and And he was the only victim, I think, of that turn. I think he was the only victim. And no caution, Team Pony's pitting. That puts Jonathan Skibnicki as the leader. No caution again with 4 to go. Still no caution. I'm not kidding. Here's proof. Pace car's still on pit road. Still no caution, so it's going to be Jonathan Skibnicki's turn to make it through the turn of death. Oh boy, is this an intense couple of races, guys, after the last few before us weren't so great. This time it's coming back. Jonathan Skibnicki, you can visibly see the damage he had on the front hood, but he's still trying to race it through the wind. Trying to race through it. He's battling against George Rourke. George Rourke has already won this season. He's looking for his second win this season. Looking to become the third driver with multiple wins. Here we go. Street portion of the course coming up for the 16. Let's see if Skibnicki makes it through. Oh no, he does. Oh, he gets too high. He saves it though. What a save. Someone spun. Someone just spun. That was Rohit Vedarvu. Vedarvu was the victim of the turn of death. Not so hard though. Not as bad as it looks, because he just saved his car. Oh no, he's approaching there quickly. Oh, he hits the wall. Oh no, he hits the pit wall. That should pull on a caution. That might be the race. That might be the race, folks. Rourke's pitting. And that is the race. 3 to go. They're not going to go back under green. And guess who the leader is? Kyle Beck. Kyle Beck is the leader. He was the points leader for most of the season. He lost his points lead, but now with the win, he hopes to get it all back. Oh my goodness, Rohit Vedarvu was the next victim, and look at this. He missed pit road. He couldn't see because of all the buildings, and boom! Hard hits. And that did bring out the caution with 3 to go. And usually in that point the race ends, unless we somewhat get a miracle and get at least one more lap going, but I doubt that will happen. And Beck's pitting. Kyle Beck is not going to win this race. He's pitting. Henry Nova takes the lead. Jake Williams right behind him in second, and guess who's in third? Chris Washer. The point leader, the current points leader, is in third, and James Shelley, that closest rival, is in fourth. That could set up a very interesting battle for the points lead at the end of the season. I guess these are the two drivers to watch, Chris Washer and James Shelley, unless if anybody else pits. Henry Nova is the leader and Jake Williams is second. Should the race end under caution, Henry Nova might be the winner unless if a slowdown happens. And we've seen that happen before in our last race at 3Fourty9. We've seen wild finishes from this track and unexpected results. Right now it's not, well, right now it's confirmed. Right now we can confirm now that this race will end under caution. And we'll not be getting back under green at 3Fourty9. So it was a phenomenally fun race. But it all had to come to an end. If Nova can keep his car into speed, he will win today. He will win here at 3Fourty9 on a weird finish, as Kyle Beck gave up his lead with 3 to go to pit, and not knowing that he would get back, they would not get back under green. Rohit Vedarvu, DJ Curtis are done for the day, and this will be their final run through the turn of death under caution, under slow, safe speed. And here's the drivers rest of the field below, and that's going to be your final result, unless anything changes. Nova goes through the turn of death for the final time. We'll see if he chooses to pit or if he slows down in the middle of the grass, like we saw our other driver did in Beaumont Cup Season 4. He's not pitting, but the question is, will he keep it up to speed? There they go through the final corners. Oh, Nova's just a turn away. Oh, he's getting close to the dirt. Oh boy, through the final S-curves. And off the final turn, it is going to be official. Henry Nova gets the win in the Transformers Turn of Death 100. And I think he becomes a third multiple winner this season. Congratulations to Henry Nova on the win. It was an unexpected win for the 13 machine. He did it anyway. Oh, whoa, Nova's up right side and everyone's stopping so that they can disappear into pit road. But we do know the winner is Henry Nova. We're going to wait for the official word, because some drivers actually mixed up on pit road. We'll wait for official word. Sorry for the bit of the cut there. I just wanted to confirm that the session was complete. I'm going to export them right now to be sure this will count towards the points. As now we're going to have only 5 races left this season. Oh boy, is it going to get fun from here on out. Henry Nova, your winner today by a second for some odd reason. So even if he stopped on the ground or something, he could have just still won. Well, he could have still won, but Henry Nova becomes, I think, the second multiple winner. No, the third multiple winner this season. This could help him in the points. Jake Williams, his best finish of the season, in second. Chris Washer, the points leader, he comes in third. Scott Bergenson will be fourth. And not sure how James Shelley got bumped down to fifth, but I guess he lost his speed or something. I don't know. Jonathan Thoman will be sixth. Eli Sachs seventh. Alex Ragow eighth. Gabe Williams in 9th, and Dylan Young rounds out the top 10. And here's the rest of the field. Oh, Nick Barney ran out of fuel in 35th. Oh, this could have been a fuel mileage race if there were a couple more laps left. But oh well, 349 was good as it is. Henry Nova becomes a third multiple winner this season. And let's show you the points right now. So here are point standings after 349. It's still Washer and James Shelley in the top 2. Washer's lead extends to 76 points ahead. Henry Nova, after his win, I thought he was the third multiple winner this season. Apparently he didn't win a race this season according to the standings. So I do apologize for saying Nova became a multiple winner. It's his first win this season, so I apologize for that. Nova is in third. And he's the big, George Warwick will be fourth, moving to fourth. Kyle Beck is down to fifth after that pit road miscue. Michael White down to sixth. Ryan Acosta down seventh. Sorry about that. Alex Ragow up to eighth. Jonathan Thoman was the biggest mover of the race, moving 7 positions up to 9th, back in the top 10. And Eli Sachs moves up to the top 10 in 10th. And the biggest loser of the race was Dustin Ray, who drops out of the top 10, 6 positions down to 14. And with that, Charles Sanford is still the only driver without a top 10 this season. And by the way, he and Brad Johnson are the only 2 without a top 5. And yeah, that's right. So our champions from the MLP Cup Series are not having their greatest season, season 4. Wow. This is a real game changer. A real game changer. So, that could be the difference. Washer's big lead, the top 10s could be a difference. He leads every driver with 9 top 10s this season. Will that be a benefit in the final 5 races? We'll find out. This is going to be a battle between a lot of these drivers. Still 5 races left. Anything goes. The next race heads over to Widowmaker against the Leap of Death. Can't wait for that. See you later.